All right. Let's go ahead and take a look. It looks like we have full screen. Wow. So it looks like we've got full screen at this point. There shouldn't be any kind of delay. Should absolutely be able to do anything else that I want to do from here, but I can't really. Yeah, I can't really make it. Looks like chat. Looks like chat can't be made visible there. Okay. And now at this point. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is really not what I expected. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch back for myself. Alrighty. Now let's go ahead and invite myself back in. I want to say I can do this. Let's see. All right. All right. Sounds like I got a feedback loop though. So what I can do is probably go ahead and mute that voice. And now, what the? How am I? Oh my gosh, I'm getting feedback. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, wow. Okay. At any rate. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yes. So that absolutely cuts out any of the other sounds that I would normally hear right there. Let me go ahead and take a look at this full screen, see what that looks like. Yep, I'm going to get that watermark. And at 720p, that's just not the most impressive thing. That's just really not the most impressive thing. I was really hoping. Yeah, I was really hoping that would look maybe a little bit better. So, guys, I'm doing a test of Jitsi Meet and trying out a couple of different configurations. But I should probably kill this thing. Looks like we've got 5 people right now. Got 5 people, 7 people. Good grief, this is growing really fast, guys. Why don't I do this? Ta-da! Turn on some lights so it's not so creepy. It's some kind of late night radio show. Weird dude in the shadows, right? Just looking at you like a creeper. Guys, I've got a couple things that I actually wanted to talk about later on, but Crypto Mikkel's here, Yankee's here. I mean, let's chat, guys. Let's chat. In fact, Mikkel, why don't I do this? I'm going to hit you up with a link in Discord right now so you can try out Jitsi Meet. I am a huge fan. I'm just such a huge fan, man, of Jitsi Meet. I don't even make any kind of a secret of it. It's just like, it's just a really great platform. Yeah, I like it a lot more than anything else that I've used. Zoom is a little more convenient in some ways. Jitsi Meet is convenient in that it's fully encrypted. So end-to-end encrypted, plus it's encrypted for groups of more than 2 people. That wasn't the case before, but it is the case now. Right now, I was able to lock something down. I'm going to go into the crypto mining family, and I'm just going to lie down for no good reason. All right. So Crypto Mikkel, that's over in the crypto mining family Discord chat. You know where to find that. It's a private group. So feel free to jump in, man. The heck. Okay, feel free to jump in if you want to, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I was doing a test, and apparently the YouTube backend was like, nope, can't just do a test. It automatically started the live stream before too long. So got a little bit of testing media there. I'm really, really glad that I wasn't like picking my nose or something really, really embarrassing, right? Like, or like picking my nose and then like scratching my head or something. I mean, I'm trying to think of the worst possible thing that I could have done. And I think that might probably have been the worst possible thing for me to be doing. Maybe my idea of what like really bad behavior is just like, maybe I haven't really seen really bad behavior for real. Anyway, so guys, I've got a couple things that I was really interested in talking to you about, but the biggest one was, oh my gosh. Okay. So, Mikkel, I didn't mean to like totally jam your evening because it's getting late too, but jump on in, man. Let's shoot the breeze about what's going on with the markets right now. And then I've got this, guys. This is something that was really impressive to me. You should be able to see that on your screen. I've got it in reader view in Firefox. I love that about Firefox, by the way. I've gone back to Firefox as my primary browser, and it's been so much more convenient. But I want to talk to you guys about the Edison currency. Yeah, Thomas Alva Edison. He proposed a currency. Crypto Mikkel, you mentioned in the comments that Jitsi is a great platform. I'm sure you've tried so many. You tried them all with Jitsi. I've gone back to Jitsi Zoom because of the encryption. And then with Firefox here, I've gone back to Firefox because of stuff like this article about Thomas Alva Edison, which we'll get into in just a minute. I know we bounced across a couple different ideas there, but with Firefox, it's just such a great daily driver. It's got this. It's got the ID container, right, or the identity container that keeps you from having to share your Facebook credentials with other websites. So if you are a Facebook user, it at least that much to keep the tracking code for the Facebook pixel from sticking to you when you go to different places. So I like that. It's already built into Facebook. And then if you want to do something like monetization of the time that you spend on websites, you can just install the BitTube plugin. I've done that as well, and it's a fairly adequate replacement for Basic Attention Token. Now, does it earn me about $1 to $2 per day the way that Basic Attention Token does on Brave? No, it doesn't, and it hasn't for a long time, which is kind of a bummer. Brave definitely pays more in terms of, getting some kind of like user rewards and padding your pockets a little bit more with just browsing the internet. So that's kind of nice. But you guys, here's the thing. I'm going to be fairly unfiltered with you about that stuff. Brave is a great browser. I just prefer Firefox now. I've gotten to that point where I just prefer Firefox. The security risks of Chromium-based browsers, just having too many plugins and having those plugins be malicious and having them enable cross-site scripting attacks via the DOM. Like, apparently this is a problem. People are experiencing this with MetaMask and certain DeFi sites now. There's so many ways to get wrecked, right? At any rate, let me do, I kind of want to do this the other way around. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't really matter if I do it that way. Actually, I kind of want to look at it again, though. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. I'll see if I can do this then. All right. And looks like I can. All right, cool. Yeah, really cool. So, I've got this article up and running. Should be side by side at this point. I'm still checking to see what the lag is like between Jitsi and YouTube. It should have reoriented things just a little bit. But I pulled up this article and I wanted to talk about this because some people talk about like, oh, well, things are going to be so different with American finance moving forward. Semchi, Bitcoin Ben, an amazing crypto content creator. He went live yesterday morning. Was it yesterday morning or was it this morning? Just a blur, man. These days are just a blur. But went live talking about the potential for Donald Trump to propose a bit of a roll up or a wrapping, so to speak, of various different stocks and various different commodities into the new backing for either the US dollar or proposed replacement of the US dollar. And when I saw that, my first thought was like, okay, the Edison dollar. Like that's a thing that exists. Like that was proposed by Thomas Alva Edison. And it's been about 100 years, but this is a good idea that's wanted to be free for about as long. The gold standard, apparently, it worked until it didn't. And then the fiat system was created or fully committed to in the 1970s and up till today. But Thomas Alva Edison was a pretty sharp guy, right? Certainly by evidence of the things that he personally worked on and then the number of patents that he amassed, that he acquired, right? Either through his own innovation or through acquisition. Thomas Edison was a pretty sharp dude. He's like the model of he was Tony Stark before Tony Stark was a thing, right? That was Thomas Edison back in the day. Just think about it. Like imagine Tony Stark, just a little more stout, a little more fat, but relative to the time, right? Like, pretty amazing guy, pretty forward thinking. But Thomas Edison, he proposed a system of finance that essentially did the same thing. That was a bit of a wrapper for, that encapsulated all commodities and equities and used that as a backing, but specifically some other very specific equities and specific commodities. But there's an article here on supermoney.com that I wanted to share. You guys can see the address right there. I'm going to go ahead and drop this link into the chat because we're live. And guys, I really appreciate you being here with me, by the way. I don't often do live solo these days. I mean, thumbs up if I should. Thumbs down if you're a jerk. I'm just kidding. I mean, give me a thumbs down if you really want to. Whatever. Mind if I squanch said, you asked where did I go? What are you talking about, man? Be more specific. Okay. Because if I've got a problem with the audio, I wouldn't know, guys. You're going to have to tell me. And this is the first time that I've just used strictly Jitsi Meet to broadcast live. So this is a test still. Be aware, I'm trying to test this out. Okay. All right, gotcha. Yeah, if you see that there's something wrong with this live stream, you let me know. And in the meantime, if you like what we're talking about and you want to be really interactive, well, I've got this posted in the private mining family group, and I'm also going to go ahead and just for kicks, I might drop this into the Mind Your Biz group. So if you guys want to jump in, and we'll go ahead and just go live. If I really don't like what somebody brings into the group, whatever, I'll kick them out. I don't see a need for that right now. But yeah, talking about this equity-backed currency that Thomas Edison that he created. Hey,
there we go. I think I got it.
Oh, dude, you got your background removed.
It wouldn't let me put it back in. I don't know. I was messing with Logic Capture trying to get it set real fast, but it wasn't like.
That's cool, man. Well, thanks for stopping by. Good to see a familiar face, especially
what's up, man?
Especially part of the crypto mining family. I didn't mean
Wu-Tang.
to. Oh, snap!
Right.
You know what? I just did a video today about atomic swaps, and you're gonna appreciate this. But where I was thinking, like, okay, I swap atomically, and I was like, and I got like halfway into the line. I was thinking
cross chaining.
It's BTC and Monero, man. There's a white paper for BTC Monero atomic swaps.
So that's the name of the coin is BTC Monero?
No, just atomic swaps between BTC
just atomic. Monero. Okay, gotcha.
So
okay, interesting.
But
I'm intrigued because I mine Monero with my with my CPUs, of course.
Nice.
Ain't no computer in this house like not go to work at some point in time.
Well, that's awesome, man. So the article that I pulled up, and I was honestly, this is all just going to be a test, man, right now. Somebody's asking in the live stream comments that Monero swap has not been available until now, and I guess there've been some other white papers that have described.
I mean, that's
methods.
not true.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do, like there's CoinSwitch, stuff like that. There's different swapping services that have and do allow payments and stuff like that through Monero and BTC. So I mean, it is doable. Not atomic swap like immediately like that. Because it takes a while to do coin switches and stuff like that. You're looking at 30 plus minutes because you're got to wait for a coin to completely switch networks. So they got to go to an exchange, sell it at price. Hopefully the price doesn't dip. Vice versa, do it again, and then get to the other coin, swap, transfer it out, and they probably batch all that together. So
yeah,
about 30-ish minutes.
Yeah,
it is a little different though, very different between atomic swaps and just like coin switches.
Totally, man, totally. So yeah, coin swapping service or a quick like spot price service or spot swap service like that. Yep. They're going to have their own like liquidity and their own ability to handle certain size orders. What was described?
And you're going to pay a premium as well for that.
Yes, sir.
Sure, because they got to make some money on that end. So don't forget about that.
Yeah.
So the actual they'll take a nice cut.
Yeah, that's got to be worth their time, man. I mean, if you take development,
atomic swaps, from what I understand, they take a whole lot less because you're doing it at a contract level, not as a service level.
Yeah. So guys, I've got the article that I wrote up earlier and embedded the white paper. I'm gonna throw that in the live chat as well. So mind if I to answer that question though, man? Yes, it does allow a bit more privacy for Bitcoin holders because now you have your own private on-ramp into Monero from Bitcoin. It still requires two different address holders, somebody on the Bitcoin side and somebody on the Monero side, but obviously you can be both parties, right? Like, so you don't need a third party. You don't need a spot swap service or anything else. It's pretty ingenious. That said, your anonymity set on Bitcoin is decreased. And the anonymity set, the general anonymity set within Monero is decreased to some extent because now timing attacks or being able to measure the specific events that led up to the different coin networks exchanging value. Those are the sorts of things that Chainalysis looks for and can track over time. So it's not perfect, right? There is no like perfect anonymity scheme right now, but it's just another tool, man. And I think it's brilliant that there's another tool for privacy right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
because I know Beam has this now built into their wallet. Atomic swaps.
Nice.
So now you can go into their QT or their core wallet, whatever you want to call it. It's not really a QT wallet, but it's their core wallet. And you can go in there and you can link in your private keys from your QT wallets, like your Bitcoin. There's a few others. Those that have QT wallets, like Bitcoin, Litecoin, such and such, and you can atomic swap inside their wallet.
That's really cool, man. How many pairs do they have right now in Beam?
I couldn't tell you. I know it's a new feature, but I haven't used it, and I don't really mind Beam enough, to be honest.
Sure.
I mean, I used to be really heavy in AMD GPUs, so mining Beam at the time. Now it's a little different. Beam and AMD do a little well, but I don't have any AMDs anymore, and now my farm is like half the size as it used to be. So I mean.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
I gotta take my my coins pickings, like shoot like wisely, so I can get the most BTC at this point.
I hear you there too, man. Seriously, you got to be as cutthroat as possible
Yeah.
to as get that profit, and then yeah, sure, swap out later if you need to.
Yep. Satoshi miner is me and them call it. I'm a Satoshi miner. I mine for Bitcoin, but I will mine and hodl my coins until I see a good pump and dump a good portion. And I won't go for all of it, but I'll go for a good portion of it and go about it that way.
That's cool, man.
So,
yeah,
we'll see.
So yeah, spec mining is not for the faint of heart. You got guys like Not So Fast who just like, dude, they've got bags that are like 4 years old and they've never been traded on time, and he's like underwater with like, 80 different bags.
I was mining ETC for a really long time and have been for a really long time, up until what had happened this past weekend, like on Saturday, with the whole reorg situation. I was like, my Ethereum Classic was stuck in the pool, and I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and just go mine Ethereum, which I hardly ever mine Ethereum unless I need it for gas. That's usually all I ever mine Ethereum for, is if I need to use it, and therefore I mine it. I'm not going to go to an exchange and go buy it. I'm going to go mine it because that's how I roll. If there's a coin and I can mine it, I'm going to go mine it. I'm not going to go buy it. Why would I do that? Such and such.
Yeah, man, that's a good point. Hey, I'm going to ask the audience real fast, guys. So first off, Mind If Squanch keeps saying that he's getting black screens. Is anybody else getting any kind of a frame rate drop, or are you seeing it get really pixelated? Because I'm
watching it over here, and it's pretty low. I've been watching it on the side screen.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, see, I'm seeing it also inside of the studio dashboard from YouTube. It looks good here. But
I only see one turd on this screen, and it's none of us. It's just in the bottom, like, left corner of my screen.
Wait, what? Ah, got it. Little devil turd. Got him.
a little double deucer.
That's great, man. Is that messed up that somebody actually offered to send me with a 4-slot nest and all the acorns to populate it? And I was like, nah, man, I'm good. No.
Man, really? You should have said yes, dude. I'm trying to find a 4 slot. To be honest,
this is a while ago.
I've been trying to find a 4 slot for a while at a decent price, anyway.
Yeah, it was just different.
Just for funs and giggles.
Yeah, guys, I was asking about this sort of a tech run through here because I haven't used Jitsi to broadcast from. There are other tools like Restream.io and other stuff. There's one.
It seems to be fine.
Yeah,
how does it look on like double screen? You use Jitsi for you and Nicole's and all your other stuff, right? Are you using Jitsi?
Yeah, I do, but I it's kind of weird. I'll use Jitsi for the.
I see you have to like manually control stuff.
Yeah, but I'll use Jitsi for us to do the actual screen, like the meetup or whatever, the video chat conference, and then I'll use OBS to pull in other elements. And it's really not very sophisticated. I've used better setups before, air quotes, better setups.
What up, Ozzy Bogan? How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, we got some other guys. Really appreciate you guys jumping in just to say hello. A totally impromptu chat here. Like this is not planned at all. I don't normally publish twice in a day, but yeah.
No, I was gonna build I was about to build a 3D printer that I've been like meaning to build for a while. I've been working on some other projects and stuff. It's taking a lot of my time, but it is what it is at this point in time during all these circumstances. So it is what it is.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to figure out how to rearrange the screens here. That's kind of the challenge for me is I'm logged into Jitsi twice, once just for my webcam and then once for the screen share, which is kind of a silly way to do it.
I see that.
Right? Like
it's weird.
Yeah, like you'd hope that you could just do a screen share and then also have your webcam off to the side, but Jitsi doesn't do that. So
I know that I've seen a pretty cool feature on Discord now. If you are like in a video call on Discord and you both screen share, you can see it on the same screen. Like it'll show like all 4 tiles. Like instead of just like if it's 2 people, it'll show 4 tiles so you can see each other's screens at the same time. which is a very new feature for Discord. I was like, what? All right, that's cool.
So
That made productivity go up just a little bit better because I can easily walk through with somebody and like do this, and they can copy exactly what I need to do. And I was like, it
either that, or
seems to be the going feature.
you can turn
I know.
any shooter into GoldenEye too.
Yeah, right.
Cheat looking on somebody else's screen. I mean, guys, thumbs up in the chat if you remember that. Looking at somebody else's screen while you're doing 4-up on GoldenEye. They'd accuse you of cheating. You'd say, "No, no, I'm not cheating."
I never played GoldenEye, so
yeah, it was.
I have to say sorry on that one.
Look up the videos, man. People got like a lot of hurt feelings back in the day.
I believe it. I had a bunch of friends that played it, but I never personally played it, so. I'm young. It's okay.
Yeah, dude.
I'll
GoldenEye is it's good, clean fun, man. If you can get your hands on it, just get like a ROM or an emulator or whatever. Try playing it.
Right.
It's fun. And it's only fun because
I'm thinking about building a new little emulator PC here soon. So that'll be interesting. I'm actually going to build it out of the internals of the CoinMine 1 probably, just for the giggles of it. But, repurpose the hardware. They have 8 gigabytes of RAM. There is a APU in there. It's way older and it's not like great, but it's a 4-core. So I mean, it doesn't need anything like great. But
yeah, emulators from that generation of hardware, you can do it on a dual core. You can do it on a Raspberry Pi. It runs everything.
Right, but I mean, it's like a little micro. I mean, literally, the motherboard is not much bigger than a Nest 2. I'm not even like it's tiny.
That's awesome.
It was whatever. I was like, okay, it's fine.
The funny thing is, like with that APU, even if you just put in like a relatively performant GPU, you could probably still do some, maybe not like the latest AAA titles, but you could probably do some AAA gaming.
Yeah, I've been running it as like a test bench for a while, slotting in different GPUs because the one that was in it was like really bad. It was like an off-brand RX 580 8 GB. It couldn't pull drivers hardly ever. If you could, the numbers read as a Yeston card, but no markings of a Yeston, and like the same one that it looks would be like a 3-fan, but it's not. It's a 2-fan, so it doesn't make any sense of what it is. Just a Chinese AliExpress like turd, really. All the memory modules are like seeping like red liquid. Like it was pretty great, dude. Like I was like, this is like an issue. Like these things are like bad. Like they only have like a year warranty on them, and I was like, I can imagine they would last a little over a year if they're in the right condition. If they're like sweater box, they probably wouldn't. So they probably don't have to warranty a lot of them.
That's cool, man. So I'm trying.
It's not cool.
I'm trying out something in the little corner here. It looks like maybe I can just go ahead and kill the secondary one. I'm seeing a raid down in the comment section.
Getting savage raid.
Welcome, dudes.
What up, Cryptominer?
Dudettes.
Hyper. Mining Pirate. What's up, guys?
Robert Hawkins, how are you?
You talk about your article real fast, and I'm gonna give me a refill on coffee because I didn't think I was gonna need more coffee.
That sounds good. I'm gonna think probably kill this the secondary version myself.
Cool.
So, guys, if there's a little bit of a blip here, sorry in advance.
It's like sorry, not sorry. I don't even know how to mute myself on here. Oh.
Thanks for the heads up there, Savage. Really appreciate it. This is really a tech run, a test for me just streaming directly from Jitsi. Haven't done it before. Normally I run things through OBS and do some kind of a little bit of some kind of customization for the sound there. Sound coming through okay now?
Is it?
Yeah, well, hey, Mikkel, if you're hearing me, then yes, should be.
Cool. All I see is like a big screen. I have a little bitty picture on Jitsi anyway.
Oh.
I don't know. I haven't used Jitsi much, so I've used it like once for a video call to try it and test it. That was about as far as I got.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Yeah, no. Here's the thing, right? So Savage, I used to say this to my classrooms at Microsoft. That the thing about tuning into any one of my longer classrooms is that about 20% of what I actually say is really important. The other 80% is pretty much just talking. Yeah, but live streaming is different from an 8-hour classroom, so different mission. But yeah, it's weird. There's still some. I doubt now, right? In COVID world, right? Everything is completely insane, but still some people across the United States that only remember me as the dude that helped them decide that Windows 10 was okay to try.
That it was okay. That it was just okay.
We actually did better than that. The market was pretty good. We captured a lot of hearts and minds, actually. Converted a lot of people. I mean, let's be real. Every other version of Windows, that was the common wisdom, right? Every other version of Windows was probably safe, maybe, but even then, not definitively, right? It's like, especially after Windows 8, a lot of people were like, no, I can't do this. Like, Windows 8 is insane. I'll stick with Windows 7.
Windows 7. I loved Windows 7, to be honest. That was my go-to after, like, when I was really getting, like, into things, was Windows 7. That's just me.
Well, let's chat about that for a minute before we jump into this article here. I'm going to hop out of the screen share any minute now. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, man. I really want to figure out. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, how?
Yeah, Windows 10 is very solid at this point. As like not for exactly, Savage. Exactly what I was going to say. Not for mining, definitely not.
Yeah, agreed.
Windows 7 was good for mining. It's still good for mining because you don't have to fight with as much. But Ubuntu for the win. I use Linux for mining for basically everything, other than my streaming PC, which is running Windows 10. That's about it.
That also makes sense, man. Oh wow. Hey, is audio coming through at all?
Audio's coming through. I don't see your video though.
That's weird. Yeah, it's so again.
Even on stream side, I don't see nothing.
Well, it's funny. I tried to get it to stop doing screen share, and then instead it just decided to stop working with my webcam.
I don't know. Because I don't even see your video, like your actual video, like in the Jitsi call. I see that in like a Mind Your Biz video computer screen, but that's it. And it doesn't even show me like your screen. All I see is like a computer screen.
That's just weird.
Image.
So yeah,
this is why we use Zoom, unfortunately. Like it is unfortunate, but as you were saying earlier, it is encrypted, so it does like help. But ease of use, man. Good old Zoom takes the cake. But you got to pay that premium, because if you're gonna take with like us, for instance, on DC Adventure, you got multiple people, so therefore someone has to pay for premium. There has to be a premium. Yeah, it's not that bad. Like $12.
Yeah, it's
not. My next watch says love Linux, but what?
Yeah,
What's wrong with Linux?
Yeah, I'm going to take exception there too. I've got Windows machines, guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't not use Windows, but as a daily
Hmm.
driver on my laptop, why would I run Windows on that? If I'm just checking email, if I'm on a web browser,
Hmm.
if I want really secure sessions on on web apps like whatever social media platforms,
Right.
it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I almost sound like I'm making the case for a Chromebook, but I don't trust Google with all my data either. I was saying before, I just went back to Firefox for that reason.
What about like those little, like a little, was it a Libra or a Pine book? You know, on like the Pine books. I mean, you're running on an ARM processor, so it's
That's yeah.
it's always great, and you have hardware switches, which is always fun because it means you have a webcam built into your thing, and you can hardware switch the camera off, so you know it's like not on.
Yeah, I like that. I do like that. The idea that
Hardware
what
switches, man, that gets me all giddy. Like just like the Pine phone and the like the Librem 5 by Prism or whatever it is. That's like a $700 phone though, but they have hardware switches too, but they're on the
yeah.
side.
Well, see, that's why I'm such a big fan of software, man. So Linux, I can take any old laptop, and it can be whatever. It can be an old Core 2 Duo, something like
Yeah.
totally like on its last leg, ready to die, and I throw Linux on it, and all of a sudden, it's like it's running on about 60% what it was before. It's already more efficient.
Oh yeah,
And
like those old like Dell Optiplex computers.
mhm,
They are perfect candidates for running like simple like Ubuntu 18.4 things like that. You know what I mean? Nothing like crazy, but
yeah,
just like surf the web, like giving one to your kid to like browse the web is like they're getting older just because for now because now they have to use a computer for school
oh yeah,
at this point. Uh, I don't know.
yeah,
Seems
yeah. It's funny.
my schools are going virtual, so
Yeah, ours is doing hybrid. They want the
yeah,
homeboys there
they
for
gave us the option. They said you're gonna come to school or you're gonna go virtual, and I was like, "What? I'm just gonna virtual it
yeah. We tried
because it
virtual end of
seems
last
it
year.
seems to be the way things are gonna go anyway right now.
Yeah, see, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like if they
So
told me it was all virtual for the rest of the school year, I'd just tell them like, nah, I'll go homeschool just
well,
because I
they're
got
gonna
home.
reevaluate every single Friday. Every
Oh,
Friday they're gonna reevaluate with the state and
okay. What is
see
it?
how and how many the cases, how many cases have come up since that week.
Well, but I mean, if you guys are virtual the whole year, what do they
I
think
meant
is going to
like it
change?
for the ones because they were giving people the choice. They say you can either
Ah,
go to
okay,
school or not go to school and
okay,
do virtual school.
got it.
So at this point, they're saying you can do either one, and we'll reevaluate every single week. Um, and if things get too crazy, we'll just move to all virtual. And I mean, with the state of the things, the way things are looking like in the world, I think things will probably spike up. Quotes,
Yeah,
whatever, however you want to look at it,
uh, I
and
think I
we'll
agree
go
with you
back to
there, man.
virtual.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. We're gonna see a spike, man. I think this
So
this
I'm just
might some
gonna
people feel
go
something.
ahead and put them in virtual and get it over with, and go ahead and eliminate them at least as some variable, keeping my family safer in a sense. Just prepare them for what's about to happen.
That's
I can
good,
say
man.
that a couple of my children are not enthused of the virtual learning.
Well,
Not gonna lie, they're actually kind of upset about it. And I was like, I'm sorry.
yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yep. So, but
Yeah,
it brings an interesting dynamic in the equation now, is because now you're forcing a parent to stay at home
yeah. There are so
if you
many
have younger children,
considerations.
like really younger children, like
Yeah.
elementary school children.
Yeah, I'm not in that category, man. My kids are a little bit older. So when they said we'll do a hybrid schedule, the way that they broke it down was we're going to do 2 half days per week. And so they're also going to be kind of checking to see what's going on as far as new cases, as far as whether or not kids need to do any kind of adjustments.
Right.
And I don't mind that because at 2 half days per week, they can completely rotate the classrooms so that there's not a whole lot of like they don't overcrowd the room.
Right.
And
And
we've got
every school has been different. here anyway. So literally every single school district has been different. Some schools are going all virtual. Some are going the hybrid situation like you're talking about. They go to school 2 days out of the week, and then depending on their last letter of their name, they go another extra day every other week. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Y'all are getting crazy now. This is a little too much for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Nemesis brings up a good point in the comments. He says, he's saying, yeah, that they say kids don't spread it. But I mean, I've read something, I mean, as recently as 48 hours ago saying we had it wrong. Kids actually are carriers. They can't.
Well, I mean, of course they're carriers. I mean, if it can rest on things, you know what I mean? Like just on a table or something, you know, however they want to put it. It can rest on clothes. What if kids can't carry it, but what if the clothes, someone at their house has it?
We just have to dress all our kids in copper, man. How about that?
I mean, you know, their clothes, or you know, the infected person helped them with their homework the night before. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
it's gonna be a new excuse. My dog, instead of the dog ate my homework, my mom has COVID. Sorry. Don't ask our doctor. I'm not lying. I promise, Teach.
And then the next question is, how long has your mom had COVID and you're coming to school?
You're right. It's like I can't. She didn't show symptoms till yesterday. So yeah, I need to be excused from all my assignments. Thanks, Teach.
Bye. Big experiment. Yeah, big experiment. Yeah, that's right. So if animals can carry it, so can children. Correct.
Yeah, man. I mean, why not? But
just because why not?
So yeah, I'm not getting any. I'm having no joy with getting function restored to my webcam here. This is not improving.
That's a bummer.
Whatever. I really don't care, dude. I've been on camera enough today. I already published once.
Josh, get to see my face. And an inspirational lesson from Thomas Edison on money, work, and productive.
Frank, guys, Mikkel is an improvement. So I'm glad we got guest talent here on the channel today.
I don't know about an improvement, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's great because I've got the default title there. Everybody showed up like, oh, GPU or FPGA mining.
Yeah, that's what caught me, to be honest. He caught me, and I was like, oh, he's going to talk about FPGAs. I'm in. Let's go. I'm ready to listen to this.
I mean, funny story. I've got some old video equipment, old PCIe based video equipment that's got the Spartan 7 chip in it, and I did have half a mind to try to get it mining on something, but then it's like, man, it's like everything with FPGAs. It's just always a little bit more work than it's worth, unless you got a really good plan.
If it works out correct the first time.
Yeah, and you don't burn anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry to disappoint, guys.
Clickbait. Yeah. He says that's what I thought FPGA talk. Yeah, I know, right? I know. I posted in DCA Discord and the Family Mind Discord, and I was like, oh, hey guys, I'm on live with Seth, just randomly because I was actually about to build a 3D printer. I was about to do with my night, but he was like, hey, come on, and I was like, oh well, all right. By all means.
What's that about that, man? Because you Nemesis rigged. Yeah, it is rigged. Literally, it's rigged.
The whole life is rigged.
Yeah, and hey, spoiler alert, in the end, you die.
Dun dun dun.
But so you got
spoiler alert.
Yeah. You got that acorn in the background, man. Or those acorns.
Yeah.
So because this is being recorded I think for posterity's sake, you're obligated to hold up that acorn nest and say, "What, you want to talk about these nuts? These acorns?"
Want to talk about these nuts? All both of them?
Oh, it'd be disconcerting if there were more than two, right? It'd be worrying.
Sniffing these nuts. They smell like hardware.
They smell like burning.
No. Well, okay. I mean this one. Maybe this fan. This fan doesn't work half the time. The one that goes to the arm chip.
Got it.
Whatever.
You guys heard it here first. Mikkel's acorns are burning, but only at the tip. So
Only at the tip.
but yeah. Get out of here, guys. You know what you were in for. But
Stream gone lame. Peace. Yep, it is. It's gone lame. I stepped in for a few. Back to the kitchen work tomorrow. Yeah. Roasted nuts. Yeah. Pretty much.
yeah, so oof. Oh, gotta show that one. So what I did want to talk about really briefly while I'm doing this test, we got a little bit of a captive audience. Got rid of Mike Robinson real quick. He's like, dude, I'm out. It's okay.
That's never.
But
Them corns, man.
I might do a different video on this. Maybe I'll do a little more research though. But apparently, Thomas Edison, he did propose a form of currency that that was a bit like what Bitcoin Ben, what he says he thinks Trump is going to propose. And when he said it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's like exactly what Edison proposed. And so you see that kind of the backstory here is that there was a 66 million bond, or the interest over the 30 million that was going to be used for the Muscle Shoals project was going to have the government pay 66 million in interest overall. So he was like, that's crazy. You guys need a better way to structure your finance. And so he had like an engineering problem, and he thought, well, I'm gonna do something else. The quote is, right, I want to cast out the variable of money, and calls it the Thomas Edison monetary option. But just highlighted here, guys, wanted to be backed by grain and other commodities, but it really was kind of backed by agriculture more than other industries. But at the time, I mean, Sears Roebuck and Co. This is a time in American history when agriculture, it was big business, like more so than now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, right, cotton, wheat, barley, oats, etc. But fast forward a few years, it would have been steel and oil and stuff. And the framework that he proposed,
you got gold as well. That's always been.
Yeah.
Gold and silver.
Yeah.
Those have always been two of the highest commodities, I think.
Yeah.
Throughout the time, just because, I mean, if you had gold and silver, you were definitely higher than trading with wheat and corn and all that. But,
yeah, and I mean, and he couldn't have foreseen everything that was going to happen too, right? Like the Green Revolution, being able to produce a lot more grain, like agriculture totally shifted, right? At a certain point, like the yield that we get now out of a typical industrial farm here in the States.
What up, Gundy?
Dude, it's just there's just so much more.
I agree.
So yeah,
I mean, the yield, yes, but it's not from the people of the United States. It's from industries, but.
Right.
Yes.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not saying it's private farms, man. Yeah. Private farms. I've got to ask, man. It sounds like you've got some background, man. You've got some knowledge of this, Mikkel. What do you know about farming here, stateside?
I mean, I live where it's pretty big in farming, so that and oil. So I mean, I've just kind of grown up around it, and, just kind of hear things and just knowing things from growing up, so. Not a whole lot. Not like a degree or anything, any of this, but yeah.
Sure. I mean, hey, like you're saying though, who gets a degree in it anymore, right? It's like not that common anymore.
No, it's not. I mean, I know a lot of things. I didn't get degrees to do any of it. To me, the knowledge is worth more. The time, because it takes time to do all this stuff. Canada. No, I don't live in Canada. I'm smack dab in the middle of the United States. Smack dab in the middle. Great Plains. So, it's huge farming, in my opinion.
It's a big deal, though, man. I mean, people, like you'll hear, gosh, what was that guy on Twitter?
Chickens. I'm looking at getting some yard birds here soon. I've been doing. I've been reading. Just been doing a lot of reading about yard birds. As we call them sometimes. Depends on where you live and who you're talking to. Chickens. Some chickens.
That's cool though, man. So, see,
Yeah.
I respect the heck out of that. So my grandparents on my mom's side, they ran a farm, but
Right.
farther west.
Okay.
And
What kind of farm? Just
well,
a little bit of everything.
they started really small, right? Like, and as you grow, you kind of have to get into everything, right? As you get livestock, because you got to feed your own livestock if you want to do it affordably
Right.
and or
Right on.
sustainably, right? And like not go broke with your livestock. So,
Not have to buy because bales of hay are expensive.
yep. So they had to grow hay for them, and I know they had some other crops, but at like right before they sold it, I was too young to really like whatever know what their inventory was. But I remember going to their farm and
Yep. The
seeing the
Yardbirds, Gundy. That's right.
silos.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing the silos, seeing the cattle runs and the all the different just the tools of the trade, and it was like, oh, this is
When I
to
was
me it was
about
novel.
the my oldest, I was about his age, or a little bit younger probably. I was growing up next to a dairy farm, so that was always an interesting dynamic. Growing up next to there, and I was like, okay, and they'd always be out feeding the baby cows. Like, oh, you want to come feed the cows for growing up? And I was like, okay. So I mean, it's always cool. But that was strictly dairy processing. That was interesting. Lots of cows.
Yeah,
The smell. The smell never. You just never forget the smell. You're like, oh, there's cows. There's cows everywhere where I live, but
yeah, yeah,
I don't. I'm not a fan of owning cows, but
yeah. I'm with you. When we moved to Texas, my wife was like, I want to get into she wanted to get into not like diehard breeding or whatever, but there, right, the
at least
Longhorn
it's like,
Breeders
yeah,
Association.
it's
People
huge
there are
down there.
serious. Yeah, they're way serious, but it's specifically about the Longhorns, right? It's like very competitive. It's like
Mm-hmm.
people who breed and break horses and stuff, or whatever, keep horses. People that are into equestrian, even if they're not like posh high end equestrian people, they like it takes over their life.
Right. Yes, this is our country was founded on the freedom, and they've taken that from us. Taxation without representation. He goes, who represents you for the taxes? Goes, man, you don't live in D.C. That's what it says on the old D.C. license plate. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's what happens, man. Unfortunately.
Yeah, man. So Heartland, you see it firsthand, then, man. Like the production of this stuff it's not what it was back in Edison's time. Like you couldn't base it on grain.
Definitely
Our
not the same as it was when I was a kid. And I'm not that old. But going just I'd say in the last 20 years, definitely not the same as it was 20 years ago when I was here. Like, because I have never moved. I've lived in this place, like not the same place, but state my entire life. So I can say the last 20 years, farmland has slowly dwindled.
hmm. Is it
But
just like like the independent farmer, private farmer? That's
and the
what you're
independent
saying.
farmers, yeah, independent farmers, and then them just buying out land, and then literally no one doing anything.
What?
That's usually what you see is them buying out land and then just like doing nothing.
Okay. Yeah. See, yeah. So my grandparents, they were again out here in the western states, Mountain West, and
I
my
mean,
wife.
we got Bluebell here, so I mean, if that gives you any idea, like Bluebell's pretty big here. We have a couple factories, so a lot of cows for that to make
Yeah.
all that ice cream. Depending on where you live, if you can get it. I mean, I know some places in the United States can't get it. I don't know if you can, but you lived in Texas, so I'm sure you know what Bluebell is.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Well,
I mean, you know
when
him.
I
I'm sure you know.
when I remember when I went into new management, man, that was an emergency. Yeah.
That old fashioned vanilla, man. Everybody knows what that tastes like. That's gold.
You can't fake that, man. A good vanilla.
Ah, man, it can't. Not even the regular vanilla, man. It's just old fashioned.
Yeah. It's when people say they like chocolate ice cream, I'm like, that's when I look at them sideways, like, yeah, you don't love dairy, because
You
you
don't love
can't
ice
tell.
cream?
Yeah.
If you want chocolate ice cream, add a little chocolate syrup to it.
Yeah. I think
If that's what you need in your life.
in
But
agreement for sure.
that old fashioned vanilla, man, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, man, 100%. Or sweet cream, man. Oh,
Oh yeah.
if it's good pure sweet cream, then obviously, yeah, nothing wrong with those cows. But yeah, man. So Edison, he proposed a system that was totally based on agricultural production, but it was kind of like the equivalent of what we would do today if we just said, all right, we're going to take all of the S&P 500, we're going to take New York Stock Exchange,
Mhm.
and we're going to take Amex, and we're just going to or Nasdaq, and we're just going to
Oh, not vanilla bean
cross
ice cream.
index
Man.
everything.
Vanilla bean ice cream is not the same as old fashioned ice cream. That's way two completely different things.
Oh, 100%.
I
Yeah.
am not a vanilla bean ice cream kind of guy.
See, I can appreciate both, but French vanilla,
I-
yeah, where you might even have a little bit of egg yolk mixed in to get it properly dyed yellow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like vanilla bean ice cream. I don't know what
as
it
you
is.
said-
It maybe just depends on the brand, maybe because every brand tastes different.
and French vanilla is not vanilla bean, man. You don't mix vanilla bean in for French vanilla. It's
No.
just it's just a little bit of vanilla extract, a little bit of egg yolk.
That'd be it. It's like going out and make snow ice cream. I don't know if you know what that is, but
No,
okay.
yeah, no, not
Is it
really.
no? Never made ice cream out of snow?
No, I never made ice cream out of snow. I made yellow snow.
Oh, different.
No, I know.
Completely different. I mean, you use vanilla extract and a little bit of sugar, snow, a little bit of heavy cream, depending on depending on how the snow is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no,
It
never
doesn't,
knew
it
that.
doesn't snow very often here anymore.
Ah.
It used to when I was a kid, but not as much now.
Yeah, see, it's weird. Western.
I remember having lots of snow days when I was a kid. My kids get those because they don't have any. They're like, oh, hey, you get the snow day because you didn't use any this year. I'm like, man, I remember being at school for like a week once. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but y'all are being gypped. Just saying.
That's funny. Savage.
Yeah, see?
You got some strong
extract,
feels.
Sugar, milk, and snow. Snow ice cream is the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Western states we call that Hawaiian shave ice.
Really?
Yeah, but it's just just different experience. The thing is, we call it that for marketing purposes, right? Like to make it sound like sexy, right? It's like
And it keys to the demographic of where you live.
pretty much, man. And
That's just kind of how it is.
yeah, they'll do like whatever that the stuff they have at Starbucks, the Tirani syrup. They'll just do a couple squirts of whatever's handy. It's like it's caramel shave ice.
No, so they're printing too much money for snow to happen. Money is making global warming. Well, it would be if they were actually printing physical dollars. They're just adding zeros. They just add a couple zeros
Yeah, I feel like we got kind of
to
ripped
the
off.
digital asset because it's all digital, man. I think you only see the videos of them firing up the printers and everything is like when they go to make those videos. I don't think they don't go out and print dollars anymore. What's out is out. If they're having this change shortage, then they stopped printing money a long time ago.
So I'm curious.
In my personal opinion.
I think you're probably right. I'm curious though, Mikkel, if you had the choice between whatever this next stimulus is, we'll say it's $1,000 even, right? Just to make math easy. If you could get exactly half that, but it was in cash, which one do you go for?
What do you mean, like getting it in digital or getting it in cash?
If you knew you could get it in cash and anonymously, like there was a record
would
that you
love
had
it.
received it, but the bills that were marked weren't assigned to you.
That'd be cool. I mean, our last stimulus was deposited. I never saw cash. It was straight into the account. So,
Okay. And
I don't know. I didn't get a check or anything, like a physical check. Like, they deposited straight in our account, I guess, because of taxes.
yeah,
Filing taxes and everything. And I was like, oh, cool. It's whatever.
What do you think about the possible change though in the
Bitcoin
future?
stimulus. Yeah,
You
heard
think
that.
you think Bitcoin Ben might be onto something, Ben Semshi, as far as there
Yeah,
being a move to sort of
I
collateralize
love
some
I love
future?
Bitcoin Ben. Bitcoin Ben's awesome. I've been I went to one of his meetups a couple years, like about a year and a half ago with Nemesis. I went to the Bitcoin Ben meetup down in Texas, uh, and I'm actually fairly close to like Queen Lisa. I talk to her pretty frequently, and she talks to Ben, and I talk to Ben every now and again. So he's a cool guy. I like him. I
Nice.
like him.
So, so apparently in the last like day, he's come up with a theory that Trump is that he's gearing up to do something actually not too dissimilar from the Edison dollar, based on output from companies here.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. I like what Ozzy Bogan says. He says, "LOL, okay, 100% they're still printing real cash." That's okay, Ozzy Bogan. You're entitled to that opinion.
Yeah,
That's cool. I
yeah,
think they probably have stopped a long time ago, uh, but that's just me. I'm just a person. I don't know Jack nothing, to be honest. Just my personal opinion.
yeah. I tend to agree with Mikkel on that one. I don't think that there's nearly as many paper notes as there are new digital just tick marks.
Yeah, they've just totally destroyed older currencies as well. There's been record of that. They've gathered older currencies and destroyed them. Um, if not, people collect them and hoard the older dollar bills, thinking they're going to be worth more. I mean, what some of the older quarters are actually worth more. So
I guess it's pre 1964 dimes.
yeah,
They're a certain percentage silver by weight.
yep. Quarters too. There was
Really?
I forget the year. I'm sure someone in this chat will know. I don't know the year, but I know there was a certain year, a couple years of quarters that were actually made of silver, and some that were made more of silver than
Hmm.
normal. So their weight is different. They're way differently. That's from
Interesting.
what I know. I haven't dug too far into it. Doesn't pique my interest enough.
Sure.
Uh,
Gundy's
but
got a good point
still,
here.
but still, cool enough as it is, you know. But because people collect those, I know people that do. That they specifically look for coins like that, and they people you can go buy them on eBay. I'm not even kidding you. There is a market for those, for that specific year of quarters and dimes uh, that are
Hmm.
actually worth more, and you're gonna pay more for them too. It's absolutely hilarious. I look at it, I'm like, y'all are paying more for a dime than a dime. Y'all are paying like 3 times the amount. Between 1932 and 1964. Thank you, Michael Milrath. I knew somebody would know.
Nice.
Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Fed Reserve hoarding coins because they don't own coins. It's made by the U.S. Mint. Federal Reserve prints the fiat bird. Yes, yeah. Don't ever get it mixed up. The government is not printing money. That's not. That's not who prints money.
Well,
When
there's
that happens, when people like, I don't know, when people say that, it like sometimes it irritates me, especially in depending on the argument. They're like, the government's printing all this money. I'm like, well, actually, they're not printing the money. If you want to get real about it,
well,
but
they're just agreeing not to send in the
yeah,
National Guard to stop the Fed from printing the money. So
they're
they're
definitely
sanctioning it.
not stopping them, but they're not the ones that have the like, I guess the original power. The president can veto that and take that away, but the power didn't like originally lie with him. That makes sense. From my understanding, I'm just a booktuber. I don't know nothing. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Central banks print fiat. Yeah. Yeah. See, there you go. He said so. Between 1932 and 1964, they were made 90% of silver. See, there you go.
Hmm.
There's your food. There's your food for the thought, right there.
that the quarters, Michael, or is it the dimes? I've read somewhere that they were a little less.
I would imagine it's the quarters.
Okay.
From what I know of people that collect them, is they go for the quarters.
Hey, Mikkel, I'm going to try to reload this page real fast. Let's
You do you.
audience, hold on to your butts. This stream might be interrupted. I hope it's not, but this is kind of a tech run through. So, let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's quarters. Cool. That's what I thought.
Work.
Well, hey, look, I see your face on the screen.
Not an improvement, but here we are.
All right. But now my face is all like super big on the YouTubes. Oh, cool. It goes back and forth. Interesting. By nature, it goes back and forth. By priority, who's speaking?
That's so weird, man. So I was really hoping that because I started it as a host that I would be able to assign, like right now.
Can you
I've
click
got
the little
you in-
tile button?
Yeah,
Like,
I just
what
clicked
is it,
on your thumbnail
The
and
toggle tile view?
well, I had it in tile view before, and right now I'm just checking to see if it'll prioritize just you and let me speak in the corner as like a sort of a host view.
That's a terrible idea.
Or like the other way around, right? Like being able to do a screen share and then have us both off in the corner. Or whatever. Like, but same size, like both looking at.
Yeah, that's just like it's like switching back and forth the corner of my eye, just like switch.
Oh yeah.
What
So,
software are you using, Seth?
yeah, Gundy, it's Jitsi. It's meet.jit.si. Yeah, JIT.si.
Yeah, I mean I've used it before. It's interesting software. I was looking really big into Riot before they rebranded into Element, and now they're a paid service.
What?
Yeah, you have to pay to use their platform. I mean, you can join their free platform and like go and like do things, but to like create your own stuff, which I really like that aspect because you can create your own node and you can have like your own team server that's completely encrypted and videos are encrypted, chat's encrypted. And I was like, that's really cool, of course, but now that costs extra and the price went up too, and I was like, oh. Cool. COVID.
Yeah,
I'm just going to blame COVID. Everything went up 10%.
Probably reality, man.
Except your pay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and except the stimulus, right? The stimulus
depending on your situation, it went down like 30%.
Yeah, or you got downsized or right-sized.
Right.
A lot of people in the crypto space, man. A lot of developer guys, like some of the really sharp talent too, where they're like, "Go, yeah, whatever. The company I worked for, gone."
Yeah, me too. I got furloughed for now. But you know, it's what it is.
Yeah, I got a buddy that runs a little bakery, and he had to downsize his staff, and it's hard all around too because you got people that took a long time cultivating a company and building a team that they're really comfortable with, and then they can't keep their team.
So I mean, speaking about like the stimulus and all that kind of stuff, what's your thought on like crypto companies being able to utilize that and basically, you know, do absolutely nothing?
Yeah, if we're naming names like Binance, how? Why would a Chinese company, I don't care if they have American operations, how would a Chinese company have access to that stimulus money to the tune of millions?
Because the fact that they have a US based presence. I mean, if you think about it, because they have the Binance US, because they have to abide by US regulatory laws. They can only have certain coins that are deemed not security risks. You know, of all the spiel of being US, KYC, all that spiel. But yeah, from what I understand, that is why they even got it. Is because they have a huge US base sanction here. So as a company as a whole, no, they're not based in the United States. Their main HQ is not, you know, but they do have a U.S. sanctioned, you know, all their licenses. They have everything because they have to in order to run Binance here in the United States. So they are a legitimate business. So therefore, they qualify in a sense. Do we think it's do you think it's right? I don't think it's right because they weren't based here to begin with.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're a foreign country, or a foreign, not country, foreign business getting benefit from our stimulus.
Yeah, that one rubs me the wrong way. So to answer your question, there are a couple of companies like that for me it's like, sure, there are probably reasons. They probably filled out the paperwork, crossed all their T's, dotted all their I's, whatever, jumped through all the hoops, however you want to frame it.
Right.
I kind of don't care, right? It's like it's just such a bad look when for every American that received some kind of relief from the stimulus package, like, for every $1,000 an American citizen got, there was like $80,000 in administrative costs or bailouts to companies like that, and that's just
right.
Just painful, man.
Like Nim said, he said he lost his job after 9 years. He worked 9 years for a company and lost his job. And it's like absolutely crazy. And then I know that a lot of those benefits have ended now. A lot of those extra benefits. I know people were getting unemployment. We're getting extra bonus in unemployment because of they lost their job during COVID because of COVID. It was huge. So, and that's all ended now. So if those people that are on unemployment and started upping the cost of living because they got more money, are now digging a deeper hole, which is the main consensus of people, in my opinion. They get more money. They're like, oh, I got a bonus. Instead of saving it, they do something that may cost them more monthly. Maybe they. Since I'm into mining, let's throw that into the mix and let's rub it the wrong way because I just want to do it for once. In mining, so you get this huge stimulus bonus, and you go buy a bunch of mining rigs. Well, now your cost of electricity is going to go up. Are you going to be able to pay for that?
Yeah, right, man. You have to be
depending on where you live. You could be like me, and I'm on summer rates. So 6 hours of the day, my electricity rates go up. Is that going to affect you? You just bought like 3 or 4 maybe GPUs. Maybe you bought them used. So you're like, oh, I got a good deal. I got like 4 of them. I got 4 for like a couple $100. Like, dude, I got a steal. But then you're paying like extra money now in electricity, and you're like, crap. Now I got to sell these. And hopefully they're Polaris cards, and you get to sell them for more than you bought. And you bought them for less than you get to sell them for now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think, to use your example, I think recently, it would have been a better bet instead of putting $200 to $300, $400 into GPUs. It would have been. I mean, it's speculative, and we've got hindsight now, so you can say it safely. But
measure your risk for sure.
I don't think anyone could have measured it at that time. Now looking back,
I bought equipment when I got a stimulus check. I mean, I would.
Yeah,
but I knew what I was doing. I downsized my farm and I upgraded to a newer GPU just to help because I'd offset my cost anyway. So I thoughtfully did mine in a situation, but in the situation where we're talking about it was people that just go add on and like, oh, let's just go add the cost, and then that's how the rich get poor. It's because they live outside their means, way outside their means.
Yeah, I think the last couple of months, though, if people had, if they had looked at some of the DeFi platforms that are like so speculative and like way risky,
universal basic income. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I would never encourage anybody to like speculate in DeFi right now. But a few people have just like really done well. So there have been people who've turned $200 into $1,000 more.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I'm not gonna I know it was on Celsius. Because I've been doing a lot of research on Celsius, and I've been testing them out and using their platform. They also did get a PPP bonus or whatever, PPE bonus. So everybody knows they actually got that too. But they actually continued to service people in the United States and continued to build in the situation and not just continued to do what they're doing and they're actually from the United States. So, they have a big team and they've been around for quite a while. my opinion. But so I mean, it's nice. And there was one guy that I think it said like $13,000. He had like $13,000 sitting in his Celsius account, and his weekly, this last week, he earned like $23 in interest. Just 13K sitting in there, $23.
What?
No, yeah, dude. I was like, what? No. And then, I mean, I noticed that this past week that my rates went up. I know that because their rates are variable. They're variable rates. They go up and they go down. I know that my Litecoin holding percentage went up. It went up it's like 5.4%, 0.5. So a little over quarter or half, whatever, half a percent. So I mean, but yeah, dude, straight up. $13,000 and was making $23 a week.
Yeah,
and remember that compounds too. So you just added $23 in, and the next week you're interesting on what you just had. So it all compounds in, which I kind of like. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I've never dabbled in that, and my whole aspect of going into this experiment. I don't know if you want to talk about DeFi or not. If you want to consider Celsius DeFi. But in a mining aspect, you know, they do have mineable currencies that they support on the platform. You know, of course, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, which is nice. I mean, you can earn like 6.11% on Ethereum Classic, just earning in Ethereum Classic, because you can earn in Ethereum Classic or Celsius. And I'm choosing to earn in the native token because I want to earn more of the native token, not their token.
Yeah.
So 6.11% on Ethereum Classic. So I mean, mineable coin. Not saying you should mine to that wallet, but I mean, imagine if you did. I mean, think about that. It would kind of mess up I think it would mess up the algorithm a little bit. But if you were holding mineable coins and waiting for a big pump, I mean, you don't get a fee for transferring your coins out. There's no minimum fee. You know, there's not even, from what I understand, there's not even a withdrawal fee. According to their spiel, I haven't withdrawn coins out of it, so I can't say yes or no. But yeah, so if you're hodling coins anyway, why not?
Yeah. So I'm gonna grab a comment here from Rod, and results not typical, air quotes, right?
But lightweight.
But yeah, he called that example lightweight, but caveat emptor, guys, right? Like danger, Will Robinson. He's talking about a project in the comment section that is so speculative, and the one he mentioned in particular, Nerd Girl and I, we covered it. There was a whistleblower, not going to name named. There was a whistleblower within their ranks, and we got intel from the inside. Not going to say from where or from whom. We got intel from the inside that there were some problems with a security audit, and there were some real problems with the smart contracts of that DeFi platform. But dudes and ladies like Rod, some of them, they seriously did well, really well, and got out when they could.
Yeah, dude, 4 to 300, from 4 to 300. That's a good flip, dude. That's
right.
I applaud you, sir.
But there are some people who straight up got wrecked, right? Like he bowed out before everybody else got clotheslined, right?
Right, and I mean, he's saying that's lightweight. I mean, yes, it's lightweight, but that's just something that was posted to Twitter, quite literally. You know what I mean? Not everyone's going to boast that they have 50 grand sitting in Celsius or something. Like no one should ever, like the guy posting that he posted 13 grand. And he was tagged and everything in Twitter. And I was like, that's still borderline iffy. I would never do that. Yeah. You know, me. I mean, me and you were kind of like, I think we understand like the security aspect of that. And that's just bad. Like,
yeah, no, I like having all my fingers. Thank you very much. I don't want somebody to borrow and try to get me to talk.
I mean, for like my Patreon members that we have on DCA, like I've been including them on my journey with Celsius, but there will be a point where I won't include them anymore, and it'll be at a point where it's like, okay, there's an amount of money here that I'm no longer okay with sharing, and you stop that. And of course, never shows personal information, so you can't like ever see the account. You just see that I have a certain amount of dollars, and dollars fluctuate very easily, so it's hard to see, I don't know.
Yeah, I think.
But I would never show that I have 13 grand.
Yeah, I think that you are right, sir. We think in a very similar way, and it's funny because there were some previous content creators that got upset with me because I stick to like this is my story and I'm sticking to it. I do not show people my wallet, and I don't show off my wife. Those are two things I never show off in public, generally speaking, because I don't want somebody else to borrow them.
If I ever make mining videos, and when I make mining videos and stuff, which I make tutorials every now and then on my channel, which I haven't had any new tech, so I haven't had to like make new tutorials. So it's like I haven't got anything new, so how am I gonna make tutorial videos? Like,
right. Oh, you're gonna hate me, man. I'm getting an ASIC from somebody. It's one of these little like micro like USB ASICs.
Oh, so me too.
What?
I bought some off of FOMO. Can I curse on here?
Yeah, sure.
FOMO my dick on Node blockchain.
Yeah.
I paid for it in Node, by the way, just so everybody is aware of that. I paid for these moonlanders. I bought 2 of them. Nice. I bought 2 mini moonlanders for 500K Node.
That's cool. So, I mean, it's not like whatever. It's not like you let go of your something else that you mined previously.
No. It was. I mined that note. I was doing some work, so story on that note. I was doing a little bit of like consulting work and getting some miners taken care of, and they paid me in Bitcoin, which I'm always cool with. I'm like, yeah, cool. I'd gladly take Bitcoin. Makes it easy. So send it on a wallet. And I sent it over to mining rig rentals, and which is one of my favorite like go-to sites. If I want to get a coin and I can't mine it because it's really ASIC dominated, I'll go there. I'll go there and rent a little hash rate and accumulate the coin that way. Or if I want to add to my hash rate to really dig into a coin, I'll go do it that way. It's a great tool. I've used it for quite a while.
Yeah.
But I got on there and I mined, or I rented for. It's about between 15 and $20 worth of Bitcoin at the time. This was quite a few months ago when Node first came out. The app first came out. And I got on there and deposited some Bitcoin and bought about 15 to 20 gigahashes of script hash power and mined a bunch of Node. It way more than what I paid for. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I profited, and in a marketing standpoint, I profited very, very
well. And right now, you did that before the OTC. Also, there was an OTC.
Yes,
for anybody
that
who's
was
unaware,
way before the OTC. Yeah, that was before that was way before the interview that we even had on DCA, because we had a DCA. We had an interview with Ethan.
Awesome,
and with Node on DCA, and
yeah.
that was like a week before the OTC.
I'm going to interject here real fast because they've got another milestone coming up. Ethan is going to be on this channel tomorrow night at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and he's been great that way, right? As far as like really trying to reach out to the community,
right,
and diversify his time between creators and not show favoritism or whatever, but just really reach out to the community. So I'm really pleased that he's willing to come onto the channel tomorrow.
And he's been doing pretty good work on the product. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's become interesting in the past like month. It's become an interesting animal in the last month. But
it's true. It's a good way.
That's for sure. I was like, all right. It's a little different now.
Yeah, different.
There's a bunch more people now, though. So I mean, you have a huger demographic, and you have to remember that you start like liking things, and there is like an AI involved into that. So I mean,
yeah, and
you're going to be shown certain things, and once you start following people, you'll see that more often. Well, so like it depends on who you're going to follow. You have to be selective.
Yeah, and more people on the platform, like you said, you attract more flies with honey than vinegar.
Yes,
right? So
that's like. I mean, I was a part of a interesting project, way back when, Yen.io, and that was a social platform. And it was the same thing, like the aspect of it, like when you start following everybody, because I was really heavy in the project, so you start following everybody, just everybody that comes in, and everybody and everybody and everybody, and you start seeing like all this stuff, and you're like, well, this is like intense. These people are like absolutely crazy, and you're like, I don't want to follow all these people, so just be selective, guys. Whatever, Raj.
Yeah,
whatever happened to that.
He's gonna try to rub some salt in that one.
I mean, you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. Michael, he says 1976 South Washington is 40% silver. What is that, like, in context? Are you talking about a dime, or in 40% wise, you're talking about a dime, right?
Yeah, well, the dime, I think, I want to say that after the early 60s, the dime stopped containing a significant portion of silver. It was like, I think it was up to 30%
became all, what,
before
zinc?
That. Yeah, or
became
whatever.
Mostly zinc, or zinc and nickel.
Tons of junk fillers, right? Like whatever they could put on it. Yeah. So, like, yeah, I think
like a penny isn't made out of copper.
Right.
How about that?
Yeah, well, you see it, man. If you ever even scratched one, right? Like,
yep.
you don't have to get very deep to see.
And you can tell by the way the pennies age. The older pennies, they oxidize differently because of the copper. Than especially when you're in like southern states and you're like saltwater. Those copper pennies really show. They show that green patina. There's some buildings that have like copper roofs, and they get that green patina. I mean, it looks super cool. I mean, like Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty was the same situation.
Yeah, man. Well, that and copper roofs, man. Bring copper roofs back, guys. If you're not going to put whatever,
dude,
that's the solar roof.
That'd be really cool. Oh, San Francisco Mint Quarter. Cool. But yeah, that platform. Yeah, that platform died. Just in short term, it died. They ran out of money, and they spent a lot of money.
That's hard.
A lot of money that I wasn't involved like deeply with that. I mean, I was more in the marketing aspect, I guess. I guess that's how you would put where I was. I mean, I was on like DC TV, so I was just mainly YouTube and pushing content in that aspect, and doing interviews with people and stuff like that, going to meetups. But I mean, they spent a lot of money. I don't understand on where.
Well, Nem says that Yen was mismanaged and failed. Here's the thing, man. It depends on who you ask, because I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in the consulting space for just a little bit of time. Yep. A little bit of consulting, a little bit of contracting, and I'll tell you that there are some people's definition of failure is different from others. You'll get people who are whatever, they're used to living in the C-suite, and for them, they're like, oh well, what do we have by way of corporate assets? Let's roll it into the next company. And they just they're like, oh, whatever, next. They don't care.
Correct. What do they call it? Serial entrepreneur. They just kind of go to the next one, regardless if it fails or succeeds. They just go to the next, go to the next, go to the next.
But contractors, man, if you're a good contractor that a team like that really likes, they'll bless you with the next contract. So you're always
yes. There are people that work for you and that still work for you, and because it is still a project. Like, it is still a thing. It's not a social platform. It's geared towards businesses. I'm not really sure what it's doing. It's a completely different turn of what it was, but I don't think it's done anything that I'm aware of. I haven't followed it. I don't really talk to the person that runs it, which is John. I talk to Peter every now and again, because he doesn't have anything to do with the platform anymore either. He left.
Interesting.
A few months before the platform.
Speaking of, we are trying to look at the. Gosh darn it! I am looking for my countdown timer on the stream. There we go. We're at 1 hour and 30 minutes, man. Thank you for jumping in with me, by the way, Mikkel. This is great.
Yeah, no problem.
Really appreciate that. I know you mentioned you were about to record something. If you don't mind me asking, a little spoiler for the viewers here. What were you going to record?
I was going to build a 3D printer.
Oh, you mentioned that already, man. Yeah, are you doing the rep wrap, or are you doing? Is it something that was shipped to you, or are you?
It was something that I got. So it's just a Creality Ender 3.
Yeah, buddy.
You know, just good old Ender 3s, man.
That's awesome. Are you doing any mods?
I'm not really sure yet. I got a lot of the things that I'm working on. I've had this thing for probably about a month, if not more, and I have not built it yet. I'm so busy right now.
What?
It sucks. Yeah.
Okay.
I won't talk about it on stream, but yeah,
Okay.
we can talk about it off stream.
Sure.
But yeah.
Sure. Well, how about this?
It's crazy.
Well, let's wind down a little bit, guy, for the audience's sake. And I know you got to get to this build, man. I know it's been waiting for a while. What's a few more hours, but still, I'm wondering. I've got a K40 CO2 laser over here,
Ooh,
and I don't cut very much with it. It's fun.
Nice.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's only like whatever.
They're interesting little tools. There's someone in our Discord, in our DCA Discord, has acquired one, and yeah, interesting stuff coming out of that. It's cool. I'm like, that's interesting. I thought about adding the mod to the Ender 3, but then you got to have a whole different kind of like mod to like enclose it, because if that laser shoots off of something, you want to make sure that it's contained. Because that was a known thing with the Ender, adding it to the Ender 3, is that it wasn't, not that it wasn't precise, is that there was always a lot of like shoot off and ricochet.
That, you can't just get any of these that you find on Amazon, because a lot of them are junk. A lot of them are just totally fake. You got to know for sure that it is exactly the right wavelength to block the laser that you've got attached to it. So,
right.
Like the one that I'm working with.
Because every laser has a different, like a different frequency.
Yes.
I guess as you would put it, frequency or.
Yeah. Well, and it's real. Like, if you've ever met dudes that work around lasers a lot, you can absolutely mess up your eyes, man. It just takes one wrong laser bounce, and that's it. You got little blind spots forever, permanently.
This is Family Mine LLC. Yeah, that is one product that I've been working on.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, I can't. Obviously, I can say it because he said it, because he said it on the chat. But yeah.
You guys, you tease.
I know. Shame on me, Gundy. I know, Gundy. I know.
Well, let me ask you, as far as 3D printing stuff, you gotta be printing some stuff that's related to mining. Is there anything you can talk about?
Yeah, I'm actually one of my first designs that I've ever I kind of played with some of the designs back in high school. I was really big into computers and stuff back in high school, so it's kind of like running into like kind of like Blender, Tinkercad kind of stuff was of somewhat norm back when I was getting into school, and it wasn't very long after they took all that away, of course. But whatever. They depending on the school system.
Yeah, they
depending on the district. Yeah, because some districts aren't funded as much as others.
My high school doesn't have shop anymore. The one that I went
Especially
to.
Tribal schools, man. The tribal schools, man, they don't take anything away. If you get into tribal school, man, just like by living on like tribal land, dude, like you are a shoe-in. They don't take away anything. They still teach finances. Not even kidding. They teach you finances. They teach you how. I'm not even kidding you. They will teach. Yeah.
Okay,
tribal schools will still teach you.
Okay, because I've got a brother who's in New Mexico, and tribal schools in New Mexico, they're like depressing, man. They're depressing.
Yeah.
Because not every tribe is the same. Like
or was it a quarter of my state just became tribal territory?
It's like been reclaimed.
Yeah. Which is like terrible for businesses if you think about it, because they got to pay if they're not like Native American based or have Native American ties or anything, they got to pay that extra tax.
Well, it's funny. I used to work for a GSA contractor, and his whole thing.
Completely off the subject, I know.
Well, no. But it's whatever. We're riffing. We're doing jazz here. It's fine. But,
doing jazz.
Yeah, right. To change the key, I can stay cool. But as far as that goes, it's just as a coincidence. I used to work for a guy who ran a GSA contractor, like a wholesaling operation.
Right.
And his thing was, and he could BS, man. He could BS like no tomorrow.
BSer.
Smiling and dialing. And this is what we did. We dialed for dollars. So we'd call through these massive lists, and he'd be like, and he just like, if somebody answered and if he could get the conversation going, he'd be like, all right, so what do you need? And he'd just figure it out. Like, what do you need? And if it was a government organization, or or military, especially. He loved military contract,
Oh yeah,
government
those ones are
organization,
always
and he
good.
could get in, then he'd get the sale. But one of the things that he did to help him get through some hoops and get through some doors
Hmm.
was he made sure that his business was registered as Indian owned. There's
Correct.
because there's certified Native American and then there's Indian owned, which are like
Correct.
different.
Yeah, that's the that is a play here as well. Like if you're not a Native American business, you're going to get hit with the tax to pay the Native Americans for being on their land and not being a Native American business. But if you're Native American owned, it's a whole different ballgame. You're talking about cheaper taxes and a whole different situation because it's native, it's tribal. Take less
Yeah,
from
man.
them because we took everything from them.
Yeah. So
It's kind of how they look at it. And I mean, I was like, I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's
I
just
mean, it is what it is. Yeah, in a sense, it is what it is. And,
yeah.
it's kind of the point. But
Yeah, man, that's funny. So hey Anderson, what's up, man?
yeah, laser printer. That's what the laser engraver we were talking about. But yeah, you
Yeah.
have one. Is what you're
It's just
saying?
a two axis. It's just a two axis though. I mean,
Nice.
yeah. Yeah, three
Okay.
axis. It is tricky because with two axis, I can move the gantry underneath it if I
Mhm.
wanted to. I could do a little addition mod for that and move the
Right.
gantry. I just put in a honeycomb laser grid to make sure that I don't get bounces, like you were saying. That's for me. The
Right.
priority is just like do no harm first. I got to figure out how this thing works and not like burn myself anymore. Because I did last year, I did catch a laser bounce to this finger, and I just like third degree burn on the top couple layers because it's just like if you sit long enough, it doesn't stop cutting, man. It doesn't stop burning.
No, it just keeps going. Like move.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't notice
It's
it this
not going
one.
to move. If it's not moving, like, it's going to stay in that one spot. So either you move or
And
it's going
when
to
on
keep
that
going.
one, I was making an adjustment, and you don't like for the beam itself, you've
Hmm.
got between a couple of your mirrors, you had an open laser bounce, right?
Right.
To get to your cutting head. And so I had adjusted something because I think I had a cut gone wrong. It was an actual cut, not an etch that I was doing. Um, and I caught, yeah, I caught that one edge, and I
Just
was like,
one random flare.
it took me a
You're just
second though,
like
man.
you're like you feel it and you're like what? Oh, like
I think I smelled it first, dude. It was that bad.
you're like
I was
burning
like,
flesh.
the
What's
heck?
going on?
Did I leave some leather in here or something? It's just dumb. But no, I learned to be a little more meticulous.
Oh yeah, that's
But
funny.
but yeah, laser etching, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like what Anderson's saying in the comments, I don't have I don't have the circular like tumbler. I don't have like a circular attachment for it to do like the Yeti tumblers or whatever.
Right. You
Um,
would have to like hold it there, and it'd be even harder because you would have to like print it long ways at
yeah,
that one spot where it's perfectly level.
yeah, yeah. But
Otherwise, it's going to be all janky because the laser's going to move on that curve, and then the leather's going to curve, but it's not going to look right.
yeah, and well, even if you did do that, generally speaking, with a lot of these lasers, you don't get perfect sharpness. It's almost like a camera
Hmm.
lens. You have to readjust focal length. There's a
Right.
sweet spot. So
Hmm. But yeah,
yeah, but
my first project I'm working on, I was just kind of remembering what we're talking about, was actually a cooler for this. And actually, because I'm gonna remove the black squirrel things, leave the heat sinks, take the fan off of that one, use the fan, hopefully use the fan junction for the CPU,
mhm,
and just throw like uh, either 120 or maybe a 90, depending on what I can get a hold of. Probably
nice.
go with like a Noctua Slim.
Mhm,
I have one mocked up in Tinkercad so
mhm,
far, just do off measurements, and it's just gonna basically be just a shroud, just like a GPU, and then just have the holes for a like a fan. Cause that's what I use anyway. When I'm doing testing with it, I just point one of those at it anyway, because it gets hot, dude. I don't these
yeah,
things, dude. I
yeah. Well, I mean, I remember. So I remember David.
they're weird.
Yeah,
They're just a weird little. They're weird architecture. I'm intrigued. I only got it because I'm intrigued by it. Like that's
yeah,
really I've always wanted one, and I mean there's no support for them anymore.
Right.
But
Yeah, about that, I've talked to GPU Hoarder on a number of occasions privately, and then once in person about a long term support plan for them. You guys tell me in the chat if you think this is this legit, or this is just Seth being crazy. But I asked him, like, hey, do you have transcode speeds running running FEG on that silicon? So for like streamers, like if you just left it in place and when you're not mining, just transcode video, how fast, like how many frames per second could you do on like 4K? He's like, oh yeah, easy. I've already got that worked up. We already tested that. We could do 60 frames a second at 4K.
I want one of these.
Mm-hmm. To completely offload it from your GPU, dedicate all your resources to gameplay.
There was a person on just a random, I was doing a little bit of research on just a random FPGA forum, not even like a mining forum. And he got LightX up and running on this. He only had one Acorn plugged in. He was running one of these because actually, I don't know if anybody knows, underneath this is actually a A64 Pine chip. It's an ARM processor, but it's from Pine. It's the same chip that is in. I have like an extra desk in my way because I was going to be building this thing, so now I have like things in my way upon things. Same chip that's in like one of these. A Pine A64, just it's basically a Pi, but this is Pine's version. I really like their technology for a while. I'm always keen on a little bit different than most common. Plus, nice. I don't know, they have a little bit extra security that I like. So, but yeah, so it runs an A64, and that's what runs actually underneath this. It's just a different version. It's a little bit bigger, newer.
So, are you saying then? What did he manage to like hack the Nest to run its own OS then?
Yeah, he was running straight command line OS, like on an operating system, like on like a regular Ubuntu. He was running Ubuntu, and then he was running a secondary LightX OS on an Acorn, just plugged in, running through graphical interface, just like it is, plugged in through a riser.
That is rad. Was it like in a VM? Did he have to virtualize the OS? Okay.
Yeah. He's got it up and running for the Acorn, Force Cats, VCUs. He's working on a CVP version. He has like a whole bunch of them. I mean, it's completely non-cryptocurrency related, but still, like it.
But that's what matters.
It's cool.
Like, so
like it's cool because I mean,
that
like,
right there,
no one does
secondary
that.
market, and for the Acorns that you have right there,
especially these,
secondary market. Yeah, secondary.
To be honest, what use do they really have?
Whatever you make of them, dude. That's just it.
Not much. Much as a profitable mining standpoint. They will not make you anything. For tinkering, I 100% got it for tinkering. I just have so many projects I'm trying to work on and take care of it at one time. I got it because it was super cheap. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and snatch it up. Just get it over with, rip the Band-Aid off. Bitcoin pumped. A little bit of mining profits. You know, the miner's life is the life for me. You mine coins to sell them, to buy more hardware, to mine more coins. It's a terrible process.
Yeah, I mean,
JK, it's a great process.
Yeah, right.
But it's the way the cookie crumbles for the miners. It seems is that you just kind of like you mine coins to sell the coins, to buy more hardware, to mine more coins, to buy more hardware, to mine more coins.
I don't know, man. Now that you got this 3D printer project going, Mikkel, I'm going to insist that we do a circular crypto economy. Let me either list some of your stuff in the Mind Your Biz merch store so we can take pure crypto for your stuff, for your designs, and let me help you set up your own store on WordPress.
Okay.
One of the
because I've been working on the DCA store on WordPress. I just haven't committed to swallowing that pill of like $300+ for them to host it for me. And then I'm looking at the other services, and I'm like, I can do it that way too. But I'm like,
I've got some other options for you.
Yeah.
I've got some other options you'd be interested in.
But yeah, I've been working on some WordPress stuff because I used to use Shopify. So I've taken the different route because Chris Anderson in the chat, he runs the DCA merch store right now off of his own personal website, Dogelord Apparel or dogelord.com.
Yeah.
You can go there and you can find this hat. And that's just where we put all our DCA merch because there's no reason to set up another Shopify account. Like I closed mine. I used to have one, but I got banned from using their payment providers because I was selling mining equipment. I've sold a graphics card.
That's messed up, Dan. Yeah, a lot of people got burned by that for no reason, but it happened.
Whatever. But yeah, so I don't know. Been working on that and getting things. Yeah, yep. Yeah, we got it, and we have a group. Yeah, we have a group for people in DCA Adventure. There's a thread that I actually started up back right before I got my 3D printer. That I noticed that there are actually quite a few people in the crypto space. That Crypto Cloaks, dude, he has a whole 3D printing like stores setup.
He does, but
dude,
I'm going to say
legit.
something that's going to be unpopular, guys. In the 3D printing space, I'm going to say something that's unpopular. So, guys, prepare to take some medicine here. But additive manufacturing is only one half of the equation. You got to have subtractive. You got to have either a CNC or you got to have a laser or both.
Yeah, there was a. Oh my gosh! Just speaking of that, like changes the game completely. Like it hits like every ballpark of what you're talking about right now. Today in the DC Discord, it was posted. It's called the E3D Tool Changer. It's a multi-system. They call it an ASMBL. And dude, it has like multiple heads on the back of the printer, and it interchanges them. Like it'll go and swap out the heads. They can be different filament colors. There was an engraver and a CNC cutter on the same machine, and I was like, what? So in the video, dude, they were sitting there, they 3D printed something, waited for cooldown, and then they turned around and pulled out the router and started like CNCing it. And I was like, that's on the same machine. They didn't even remove the part.
Yeah, so that fully automatic deburring of the
piece. Same piece.
Just printed.
And just continuing the process on the same printer.
That's beautiful, man.
I was like, that's ingenious. Like, one who has that in that situation of like a business, like that's key. You know what I mean? Like, you can do a lot more. The possibilities at that point become endless because of the situations of supports. People hate using supports. I've been trying to do a lot of research for 3D printers. Like, people try to go to supportless designs, like to try to just to try to help because they don't want to deal with it, and that solves that issue. Like could just print. You could just print a dang block, a solid 1 kilo spool of solid block, and then just CNC out exactly what you need. Like, imagine the things that you could do.
Or like you're saying, I mean, you could also do hybrid.
What if you have like metal and CNC out some metal? Start cutting metal parts on the machine.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to talk.
Of course, not like 3D printing, but I mean, I seen what Max 4D came out with metal filament. Metal filament. It is a thing. It's called Max 4D, and it is straight on metal 3D printing filament. And I said, that's all right, dude. I mean, it's a matter of time, but now we're just finally getting here to where we've gotten to a smaller, scalable size. Like we've had it in industrial size for a long time. But getting it down to such a micro size of like a 3D printer, technology was lacking in that situation. But now it's there. So,
man, I think
cool toys.
Yeah, your Ender 3 might be kind of tough to mod all the way up to that point, but even still, just
the mod is for the Core XYs.
Okay.
That the ED tool changer is for the Core XY machines, because the bed just moves up and down. And the printer head moves like this too. So you have a bigger surface, the print bed. So I think it's like almost a 400 by 400. Wow. It's in between 3 and 400, somewhere in that area. It's bigger than an Ender 3. You go on to like the bigger size But yeah, like
Uh,
interesting stuff.
That's cool, man. That is so cool.
Off
So yeah,
completely off the wall of non-related crypto talk,
but
but
whatever, dude. No,
always
it's
ends up,
related
but is
though.
somehow related to crypto
It
talk
is
because
related. You're talking about
I'm making a
crypto
cooler
cloaks.
for making a cooler for an Acorn that
Yeah,
may or
you're
may
talking
not
about
be
crypto cloaks
mining.
too, man.
You know what
Like,
I mean?
yeah.
So
So with crypto
yeah,
cloaks, you got to use printing up devices for long-term hodling. Like most of crypto cloak stuff is
yeah,
for whatever that little like BTC device is. The
yeah. He's got a
this
lot of cool
the one.
little cool things.
But anything you can do to create little hidey holes like that, or anything you do to, I mean, shoot, just print yourself a really nice pen and have that be the pen that you write your seed phrases down with. It's all related. I mean,
Yeah,
and yeah, the more tech savvy you make yourself, the less likely you are to get wrecked in this space. So you have to stretch your mind in this direction. I don't
right.
view it as that much of a deviation, and I don't think it's any coincidence that so many people in the crypto space are into 3D printing.
No,
There's some other stuff they're into as well that rhymes with Second Amendment, but yeah, yeah, I'm very much a
just
fan
say
of
I'm very excited to explore that aspect.
yeah. That's just it, man.
I mean,
Thankfully, we live in an age where
Polymer
it's still protected.
80s. I've experimented with Polymer 80s, so you know, that's really close. You know, that's very close to it.
What
So
you're still within your constitutional right. You're talking about making stuff for yourself. You can do 100%, like you're saying, 100% stuff from a block of billet. If you have a CNC machine, you can go do that. There's nothing illegal or even it doesn't even hint of illegality just to talk about it. It bothers me that so often we treat it like
it's
we
not
can't talk about
illegal.
that because someone's gonna flag me or whatever. I'm gonna get red flagged if you're in the wrong state or whatever. Nah, man. It's legal. It's one of the benefits of being a citizen of this country.
Yeah,
So yeah,
don't be fooled otherwise.
yeah. So on that note, man, you got to look into Kodak Nylon 6.
I
Yeah,
looked into like nylon filament, and it's been interesting.
look into
Nylon
Kodak
with glass. I've seen like that nylon with glass, like in the filament.
Kodak Nylon 6 because
Kodak nylon 6.
DuPont has something
Kodak with a K or
with a K, Kodak. Because DuPont has something proprietary called Zytel, and that's used by a company you might have heard of called Glock.
yep.
And but DuPont, they're stingy.
So my Polymer 80 is a Glock 26.
Nice.
Is
But
what
I'll tell
my
you,
is what mine
Polymer
ended
80
up
out of
being.
Las Vegas, they'll never tell you exactly the polymer they're using or the tolerances
Oh
or how to
no,
work with
for
it.
sure. Oh, why would they?
They
And
don't let them.
there's more than one company that does it. But Polymer 80 is really just the biggest one that you see like mainstream.
Oh, they're pretty good too, man.
Yeah,
They're,
dude, they
they're
make fantastic product,
yeah,
and they're a reasonable price. You know what I mean? They're not
yeah,
like outrageous. I mean, dude, like you can build a Glock for a quarter of the price of a Glock.
yeah,
Get
yeah,
smart, people.
yeah, man. So knowing that you're
Don't gotta go
building
pay $1,000+ for a
yeah,
firearm that you can go build yourself for like maybe 300.
yeah, it's like the Apple tax versus running Linux or even running Windows, right? Like there's so many things that people overpay for just because they don't know. Like, they just
It
don't
will
know.
just ease. Like they don't want to have to go out and like drill their own holes or insert or mill out their own spot for their firing pin. Like they don't want to do that. People are
Yeah,
lazy.
yeah. Well, I mean, again,
Convenience.
there's
It's
crossover between the guys
convenience
who
tax.
yeah, guys who are into mining and have no problem with the inconvenience of mining. There's high crossover, man, like you were saying before.
Oh, for sure.
But so I'm curious though, as far as something that I can build. Now that I see you've got that, you showed the little Pi device had the A64 processor on it.
hmm
I've got my cutter and I haven't cut any acrylic on it yet. For holy crap, I didn't know this was. It's getting so late.
I
Uh,
know, right?
I mean, it's not late, but it's
Oh
late
yeah,
enough.
it's like 10:30 for me. I'm in Central
But
Time, so
I haven't cut any acrylic for any kind of like whatever, like little Raspberry Pi devices or like Pine devices or anything. I
hmm
mean, comments, guys,
yeah.
tell
There's
me in
this
the live comments, would you guys be interested in something that's like custom to order that
yeah,
has custom like crypto logos on it and stuff?
it's one of the projects that we've been working on with one of the buddies that has his printer. just kind of just doing something like this. There's not much out there.
But
but like this isn't even like put into there. It's just like,
well, and that's why I'm asking.
It's like a sticker,
Mhm.
I guess. Like I don't know. Like it's
and that's why I'm asking.
definitely
So,
you can't feel it on the outside or the inside.
And Mikhail,
So
that's why I'm asking, because
it's
that
like
particular
floating
kind
in
of a
the air.
housing, when you talk about like a Raspberry Pi housing, you don't go additive. That's not the right tool. What did they put it in? Laser cut acrylic.
Yep.
So you want to etch and you want to laser cut. You don't want to build up from a 3D printer, because if you get your holes wrong, you're going to have to laser cut them back out anyway.
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of people out there. They've already done that for you. I don't have to go like and
right,
and try and make from scratch. Like, of course, I would love to learn to do that, but ease of use. Take what I have and edit it, make it work.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, man. And
until you learn otherwise. That's how I've always done it. It's just take what you can, learn from it, build it as your own, like remix it, and then build something else.
Yeah, that totally makes sense, man.
If you don't like where the way it's going, you know what I mean. Like if something's like it's just not working out, just take what you learned, go to something else. Don't waste your time beating a dead horse. There's no reason to do that.
Totally agree, man. I totally agree. Yeah. So when it comes to like Raspberry Pi stuff,
with the ice core.
Yeah,
dude, that's super cool.
So yeah, instead of going with 3D printing though, for specifically a Raspberry Pi style device, trade, man. Seriously, trade with somebody for a 3D printed bobble or device or something. Trade for housings for stuff that does need to be cut or whatever. Do a multi-part process where you might want to do some etching in something or have something etched, and just swap, man. We're entering the age of barter, man, with the COVID-19 world, and we've got the skills to do something that's a little bit more advanced than what most people are going to be trading with.
Especially the skills that people are going to be needing. You know what I mean? Just in the sense of mining. I mean, take note for the example. I mean, how many people have you seen in the past month that aren't like posting weird stuff, that have seen people post mining stuff and no one know where to go? I haven't seen that in a while. It's not very often that you see people be like, I want to do this, but I don't know how. How do I reach out to people to do this? And you're like, there's still people out there that want to know about this. I mean, we make YouTube videos, and people, obviously people watch them. The views go up, so people watch them. So, but how many of them are really new people?
That's a tough one, man. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, every side of the industry.
Like, I mean, new that don't know anything of how to mine whatsoever, or even the aspect of mining. I've seen quite a few of those that they just don't understand it. They're like, I don't understand mining at all. Teach me. It is a long hole. How far do you want to fall?
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, good point. So hey, I'm gonna go ahead and close out tonight's show. But before we do, let me quickly share the screen here. I'm going to gonna pull back up. It's one little bit from Thomas Edison, just because, I went from just doing a test stream to now being able to do something additional.
Right.
And I had this lined up because I was going to do this. I was going to do this in a post-produced video, but since you're here, I'll just share this with you, Mikhail. This is great. But Thomas Edison, he brought this up. This was his quote in 1922, man. So we're going on almost 100 years. So good ideas want to be free.
So we've already passed that date.
Yeah, right. So but another 2 years, and it'll be 100 years since he said this. So he said the relative value of the Earth's produce appears to be constant. I mean, he was wrong, but he said it appears to be constant. A money unit representing basic commodities and nothing else would be equally constant. That and further, since the relative value of the Earth's produce is constant, there's no reason why the farmer should not finance himself as the gold miner does, simply by turning his output into money directly. My wife's grandpa, he was he raised cattle, And
Right.
he said that between the mid 1970s into the mid 1990s, the amount of profit that he made from a head of cattle, his direct quote was, "Every time I go to McDonald's, price of a burger of a Big Mac gets higher. I haven't been paid more at all in 20 years." And
100%.
when he finished farming, that was kind of the end for him, or raising cattle at least. And so I think Thomas Edison probably couldn't have foreseen like the way that agribusiness was going to change in the 90s and now all the way up to today. Like it's way different.
Oh,
But this
for
was his
sure.
idea.
It's
And
interesting, and be able to like finance their operations themselves. So, and since you're comparing it to the gold miners, but the gold miners have gold to trade, and the farmers have wheat, whatever their main source of crop. Some of them only have one crop. They go really hard on one because maybe they don't have the manpower or the amount of children in this situation. Back then, it was children and family members.
yeah.
So
That hasn't changed,
maybe
man.
your family wasn't big enough.
Yeah, I've got aunts and uncles that'll tell you that hasn't changed in our lifetime.
And like the family wasn't big enough, so therefore you were limited to what you were going to grow. So I mean, yeah, theoretically it could work, but I don't. The value of gold was higher, so therefore I don't know if it would have really worked.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
The
So
value of the asset is not the same. To be
yeah,
able to compare the two, the value would be dramatically different. It would take a lot more time to probably grow the wheat that it would be an equivalent value of the gold that it would take for them to mine in the amount of time.
yeah, I think his idea was just that it was just a different economy and it was just a different way to
Right.
base value. And he viewed it as, like you mentioned, as a bit more of a constant because the earth can only yield so much. Whereas with gold, you will run into new mines and new deposits in different places, right? In different quartz quarries where you
Mm-hmm.
suddenly discover new deposits of gold. And
But for how long?
yeah, but I mean, even at his lifetime, right?
Right.
He saw that like, yeah, you find new gold deposits, and now we're seeing it with oil too, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, there's whatever, new oil deposits in different places, or we're finding more yield from oil deposits because we're growing some kind of algae that forces 10% more oil out of a different deposit.
Right.
So I think there, in a way, what he was looking at then was, or what he was considering was kind of brilliant. But again, things have changed because again, now we have fertilizers that are based on petroleum, right? Like you have petroleum-based fertilizers that completely changed the game during the Green Revolution. Anderson, like he's saying in the comments section, yeah, child labor not a thing on farms, man. It really is just chores. And but I don't know that Edison. I don't know that he could have foreseen that agribusiness would become so industrialized.
For
I
sure.
think he was maybe just looking at raw yield per hectare. That was probably it. Probably just looking at the ground. That's it. And saying you can only take so much food out of the ground. And so if we just decide that much produce, that much food coming out of the ground has a value, and then base it on, I mean, like the article is describing, and I have to do a little more research on this. Guys, forgive me for not being as thoroughly read on this as I wanted to be. But averaging it out over over a given period of time for those markets, and trying to do some projections.
Right.
I don't know, man. Just different. Trying to create some kind of a sound money from literally nothing but people's work.
The fruit of their labor. Like a trade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's totally should be a thing. Even being
Yeah.
able to trade trades. All pun intended. Trade trades
Yeah.
for other goods and services. Because I'm like doing research for like looking into chickens. Speaking of trades for trades. Looking at how all the different variables of how I'm going to facilitate them, how
how many I'm going to have. Are they going to be? Am I going to raise them from eggs? Am I going to raise them from chicks? Am I going to get some partially adults? They only lay eggs for like 2 years, so therefore, how old an adult do I get?
Yeah.
They're like 10 billion variables, and I'm like, oh, like this is like absolutely crazy.
Yeah, right. Are you going to get Easter eggers, like whatever,
right,
or whatever? Yeah,
right. Yeah, like silkies.
Yeah.
Like there's like all sorts of crazy looking ones, and I'm like, these are really cool. But running into like the trade situations, I like looking at how to get them. I'm like, I don't really want to go to like some like lumber convenient store, like a lumber store, a feed store, but not like a feed store, but not like a big chain store. Kind of like, Tractor Supply is. You know what that is?
What now? A Tractor Supply?
Yeah, Tractor Supply. It's a store.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
I mean, we don't have them locally because
I'm sure you. Yeah, now, but when you live in Texas, I'm sure you had Tractor Supply, like lumber tools, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, you'll have like the smaller shops that aren't chains, right? Like in Albany,
right?
Or whatever.
Yeah, so like I'm looking at stuff. Yeah, so I'm looking at things like that because that's unfortunately that is dying. That is a industry that is dying. Like the mom and pop shops. But looking at services like that, and people are doing like swapping animals. Like that is a thing. And I was like, it's an aspect I've never looked into, but people actually like trade animals for animals. They trade eggs for animals. Like people have an abundance of something and they go trade it for something to get something else. Like it is a thing. And I've never learned that. I've never learned that aspect because I've never like actually physically dealt in it. But yeah, it's crazy. The other day I was thinking about it as I was coming out of like the feed store, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I could like buy a chicken on Bitcoin? That'd be cool.
I bet you can, man. You might be the first.
I'm sure I could. But I mean, it'd be hard to find or facilitate that situation. I don't want to ship a chicken. I want a chicken that I could just like go pick up down the street.
Dude. Okay, you got to get video. Whatever you do, man, because I can see you succeeding at this. You got to get video of you, selfie cam, right?
Well, of course, dude. If I ever do that, I would tell them straight out, like, yo, can I please videotape this? Because like, no one has ever now that I've seen purchased a chicken for Bitcoin. Like, I don't know about you, but
yeah, right. Private sale, single chicken,
peer to peer.
It's cool, man. Well, hey, I'm going to refresh the stream really fast again because apparently I am seeing the weakness here is that when I screen share, it boosts
takes priority.
Cam out, yeah.
And so you got like refresh in OBS.
Yeah.
If you do I know that I've noticed if you go to like the camera and right click and go to properties, and then just go to refresh inside the properties, it does it for you instead of having to like do anything like crazy weird. It's worked. It's worked for me. It's like right click your camera as your scene, or whatever you're working in. Right click it and then refresh inside of the properties of that selection.
Yeah, it's not actually an option here on Jitsi though. Because it's all in browser.
OBS. Is it not OBS side that you can't see, or is it's actually Jitsi side?
I literally don't have OBS running at all right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going direct through direct to Jitsi right now.
I know Crypto Mom would sell me a chicken for Bitcoin. I know that, Chris. Dude, she'd sell me crops. She would sell me gas, like all sorts of stuff for crypto. Like I know that, but
it's not cheating,
probably,
dude. You should do it.
That's like 10 hours away. So I mean, the cost is too high for the. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna spend Bitcoin, I don't want to drive 10 hours away, because then I have to either A, spend more Bitcoin for gas, or B, spend fiat for gas.
Well, yes and no, because consider this opportunity cost.
It's an opportunity cost.
You might spend 10 hours just trying to convince a local to take the Bitcoin.
He says, Caleb, do it. Have it shipped. I'm not shipping a chicken.
I mean, it's close.
It's like 10 hours.
It's close, dude. That's a short drive. It's not.
That's a short drive.
I'm just saying that's not like having like some third party farmer that's going to try to send it through some third party service and they're going to delay and then your chicks.
It'd be a fun drive, and I haven't seen Crypto Mom in like 2 years, so it'd be fun. But yeah, still.
Well, yeah, but like UPS and FedEx, like they've let some chicks die. They've
animal crates are a thing. Yeah, I know they're a thing.
Well, since COVID had started up, apparently there have been plenty of people who've been trying to get into chicken farming, and there have been plenty of generations die. Yeah, but the ship chickens dying en route.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Like more than usual, apparently, because of all the shipping delays.
That, and I mean, places weren't really equipped for that originally.
Well, you know what I mean? Also, with the boost in traffic, though, right? Like Amazon exploded, and FedEx exploded, and UPS exploded, and now everything is late. Like 2-day shipping, but we all know better. It's at least a week, if not 2 weeks.
Right. I don't know. It's totally a thing. I think I could probably get someone to take Bitcoin for chicken.
That's cool, man. Well, guys, I'm gonna call the stream right there. Thank you so much, Mikhail, for jumping on, man. You were the best. Go at over here, guys. You saw the link over in the live comments. If you click on that link where I say go sub to Crypto Mikhail, that'll take you straight to his channel and take you straight to subscribing. So just say confirm, and you'll be subscribed.
You all are awesome out there. Thank you for having me on here. I've never been on here. It's actually like one of the low-key dreams of mine.
Oh,
growing up as a young streamer, I guess. Back in the day, watching all your videos of FPGAs and GPUs.
You're too kind, man.
I know.
You're too kind. Let's make sure it's not the last time, okay? We'll have to chat.
For sure.
Once you print something, man. After this thing is done, you go ahead and print something. Let's come up with a challenge. You print something. I will laser cut something. We'll make it themed, and we'll meet back up again.
Cool.
Right,
I appreciate it.
Thanks for appearing in on our chat. We will see you next time.